Stop nighttime peeing now. It really works. Have you ever fallen asleep, only to be dragged out of bed at 2 a.m., then again at 4 a.m., and once more just before dawn, you shuffle to the bathroom in the dark, half asleep, wondering why your bladder won't let you rest? Most people assume it's just a part of aging, or they blame their prostate because that's what they've always been told. But what if I told you that? For many older adults, the real reason has nothing to do with your prostate at all. Let's be clear, the prostate can play a role in urinary symptoms, especially if it's enlarged. But here's the surprising part. In many men, and even in older women, the frequent nighttime urge to pee isn't caused by an enlarged prostate or weak bladder muscles. In fact, the most common root cause is something you may have never considered: insulin resistance. This condition quietly affects millions of Americans, particularly those over 50. And it can directly impact how often you urinate at night. So what exactly is insulin resistance? In simple terms, your body uses insulin, a hormone made by your pancreas, to help move sugar from your blood into your cells for energy. But over time, especially with certain eating habits, your cells can become less responsive to insulin. When that happens, your body compensates by producing more insulin to get the job done. The problem is, this extra insulin doesn't just affect blood sugar, it affects many systems, including how your kidneys function and how your body holds on to fluids overnight when blood sugar stays high, even slightly. Your kidneys respond by pulling more water out of your bloodstream to flush that excess sugar out through urine. This process is called osmotic diuresis, and it leads to more frequent urination even while you sleep. It's your body's way of protecting itself from high sugar levels, but it comes at the cost of your rest. And what's more, studies have shown that even people with normal fasting blood sugar can still have insulin resistance behind the scenes, especially if they're waking up multiple times a night to pee. If this is new information to you, you're not alone. Most people are never told that their nighttime bathroom trips might be linked to something as common and reversible as blood sugar imbalance. The good news is, once you understand this connection, you can start to address the real issue, not just mask the symptom. And that's when true, lasting relief becomes possible. Insulin resistance is something many people have heard of, but few truly understand. It doesn't always come with obvious symptoms, and that's what makes it so tricky. You might feel fine during the day, but still struggle with nighttime urination, low energy, or sugar cravings without realizing these are all connected. The body is working harder than it should just to keep things balanced. And over time, that effort begins to take a quiet toll, especially at night. Let's talk about how insulin normally works. After you eat, your blood sugar naturally rises. To help bring it down, your pancreas releases insulin, a hormone that acts like a key, unlocking your cells so they can absorb that sugar for energy. But when the cells stop responding properly to insulin, the body doesn't give up. Instead, it sends out even more insulin to try to get the job done. This state, when your body needs higher and higher levels of insulin to keep blood sugar stable, is what we call insulin resistance. Now, here's where it ties back to your bladder. Insulin resistance doesn't just raise blood sugar, it also affects the kidneys, hormones, and even the muscles that help you hold in urine at night. High insulin levels increase the workload on your kidneys, causing them to filter more sugar and fluid into the urine, especially overnight. In addition, insulin resistance often leads to magnesium deficiency, which weakens the smooth muscles in the bladder and pelvic floor, making it harder to hold urine when you're sleeping. There's more. Research shows that insulin resistance is strongly linked with lower levels of testosterone, especially in men over 50. This hormone isn't just about sex drive, it helps maintain muscle tone, including the muscles that support your bladder. When testosterone drops, you may notice more leaks, urgency, or waking up multiple times a night. What's encouraging is that by improving insulin sensitivity, many people also see a natural rise in testosterone, better sleep, and stronger bladder control over time. Women experience this too, although it may look a little different. Insulin resistance can weaken the pelvic floor in older women, particularly after menopause when hormone levels shift. This creates more bladder pressure, more urgency, and more sleep disruption, often mistaken for unrelated aging issues. But again, it's all connected. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. type "still watching" in the comments if any part of this section describes what you're going through, because awareness is the first step. When you know what your body is really trying to tell you, you can finally stop treating the wrong problem and start gently supporting the real one. Let's now take a closer look at one everyday habit that quietly keeps you waking up at night even when you think you've done everything right. It doesn't always seem like a big deal. In fact, for many people, it feels like a small comfort. But snacking after dinner, especially before bed, can become one of the most disruptive things for your bladder and your sleep. Here's why. Every time you eat, whether it's a full meal or just a handful of something light, your body releases insulin to help manage your blood sugar. Now, if you've already developed some level of insulin resistance, your body will need even more insulin to handle that food, especially at night. And when insulin stays high during sleep, your kidneys stay active too. That means more sugar being flushed out, more water pulled with it, and more pressure on your bladder while you're trying to rest. It's important to understand that this isn't about blaming food or saying snacks are bad. It's about timing and giving your body the quiet it needs to do its job overnight. When your system is busy digesting, it's not resting. And when it's not resting, you're more likely to wake up feeling tired, foggy, and needing to run to the bathroom more than once before sunrise. This habit also ties directly into the sleep-craving insulin loop. When your sleep is interrupted even just once or twice, your body increases production of cortisol, the stress hormone. High cortisol then pushes your blood sugar higher, which raises insulin again, leading to more hunger and more nighttime cravings. Before long, it becomes a cycle. You snack because you're tired, and you're tired because you snack. And often, it all starts with those quiet evening bites we think are harmless. Even healthy foods like fruit or whole grain crackers can stimulate insulin if eaten too close to bedtime. That doesn't mean they're bad, but your body simply processes them better during the day, when your metabolism is more active. At night, your body is asking for stillness, not stimulation. Now, if giving up the nighttime snack sounds too difficult at first, don't worry. You're not alone, and you don't have to be perfect. A good starting point is to simply set a cutoff time after dinner: no food, no drinks, and stick to it gently. Brushing your teeth earlier or clearing the kitchen counter can make a surprising difference. You might even find that once the habit fades, so does the urge. By skipping that snack, you're doing something powerful. You're allowing your insulin to settle, your kidneys to slow down, and your bladder to rest. And over time, that can mean deeper sleep, fewer interruptions, and a body that finally feels ready to restore itself the way it was meant to. If you're finding this helpful so far, consider subscribing. It tells us you want more of this kind of support. Now that we've talked about insulin resistance and how it disrupts your sleep, let's look at one of the most effective long-term strategies to reverse it, changing not just what you eat, but when you eat. Many people try cutting back on sugar, and while that's a great first step, it's often not enough. That's because processed sugar isn't the only thing that raises insulin. Starches, breads, pastas, even frequent snacking on healthy foods can also keep insulin levels high, especially if they're eaten throughout the day. To truly help your body rest and repair overnight, many experts now recommend a low-carbohydrate diet, generally under 30 grams of net carbs per day. This means focusing more on vegetables, proteins, and healthy fats, while cutting back on rice, grains, sweets, and starchy snacks. When you eat fewer carbs, your body doesn't need to release as much insulin, and over time, this gives your system a chance to become more insulin sensitive again, which can reduce nighttime urination and help you sleep more deeply. But the benefits go even further when you combine a low-carb diet with gentle intermittent fasting. This doesn't mean starving yourself or skipping meals randomly. Instead, it's about creating space between meals so your insulin levels can naturally fall. A simple way to start is with 3 meals per day and no snacking in between. Once your body adjusts, many people move to just 2 meals per day, typically lunch and dinner, allowing the entire morning to be a healing window without food. Now you might be wondering, why skip breakfast? For many people, skipping breakfast is actually one of the easiest ways to give the body a longer fasting period without much effort. During those extra hours without food, insulin drops, cortisol begins to stabilize, and your kidneys get a chance to rest. That quiet recovery time helps reduce the internal signals that trigger nighttime urination. Instead of your bladder working overtime while you sleep, your whole system enters a deeper, more restful state. Let me share a quick story. James, a 61-year-old from New Jersey, was skeptical about intermittent fasting. He had spent years waking up at 3 a.m. every night to use the bathroom, thinking it was just part of aging, but after just 2 weeks of shifting to a low-carb diet and moving to 2 meals a day, something changed. He reported sleeping through the night for the first time in years, and the only thing he changed was his eating pattern. No medications, no complicated routines, just time and consistency. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried intermittent fasting and what your biggest challenge was. Your story might inspire someone else who's feeling unsure or just beginning. Because sometimes, the smallest change in routine opens the door to the biggest relief. And this isn't about discipline or restriction, it's about giving your body a chance to breathe, to recover, and to finally rest the way it was meant to. Alongside the changes in eating habits we've talked about, there are 2 nutrients that can quietly support your sleep, your bladder function, and your insulin levels, and they're often overlooked. The first is vitamin D, a fat-soluble vitamin that plays a much bigger role than most people realize. Beyond helping bones stay strong, vitamin D supports your immune system, regulates hormones, and most importantly for our topic today, helps improve insulin sensitivity and sleep quality. When vitamin D levels are low, something that's common in older adults, especially those who spend less time outdoors, your body struggles to manage blood sugar efficiently. This means insulin levels stay higher for longer, which can contribute to nighttime urination. Low vitamin D is also linked to disrupted sleep cycles, more nighttime awakenings, and lighter sleep overall. But with proper supplementation, many people report deeper, more restorative sleep, and fewer interruptions through the night. The second nutrient that makes a powerful difference is magnesium. This essential mineral helps regulate the smooth muscles in your body, including those in the bladder, pelvic floor, and urinary tract. Magnesium also helps calm the nervous system, lower stress hormones like cortisol, and support better control of your bladder while you sleep. When magnesium is low, the muscles that hold urine can become weaker or more reactive, leading to urgency and more nighttime trips to the bathroom. What's even more helpful is that vitamin D and magnesium work better when taken together. Magnesium is actually needed to help activate vitamin D in the body, which means if you're low in magnesium, vitamin D supplements may not work as well on their own. For best absorption, many health professionals suggest taking vitamin D with a meal that includes some healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or fish, and pairing it with magnesium glycinate or citrate, which are forms that are gentler on the stomach, beyond just helping with insulin and sleep. These nutrients also offer support for mood, energy levels, and overall hormone balance, all of which tend to shift as we age. Think of them not as quick fixes, but as gentle support tools your body can use while you work on longer-term habits like nutrition and fasting. Sometimes, adding just 1 or 2 targeted supplements can help create the space your body needs to start healing naturally. You don't need to try everything at once. Just pick one thing from today's video and stick with it. Let us know in the comments which one you'll start with, whether it's cutting snacks, adding salt, or trying vitamin D. Every step matters, and the moment you take that first step, your body begins noticing. It doesn't need perfection, it just needs your attention and your willingness to care gently, one day at a time. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that might surprise you: salt. For many older adults, salt has become something to avoid at all costs. Decades of messaging about blood pressure, heart disease, and sodium overload have created a deep fear of adding salt to meals. And while it's true that too much salt can be harmful in certain cases, many seniors today are quietly suffering from the opposite problem: not getting enough of the right kind of salt. Here's what's important to understand. Your body needs a certain amount of sodium to manage fluids properly. Sodium acts like a sponge. It helps hold water in your bloodstream, regulate blood volume, and keep your cells balanced. When you eat too little salt, especially as you age, your body may struggle to retain fluids. This leads to a state of low fluid pressure, which signals the kidneys to flush out water more quickly, and that means more nighttime urination. It's not just about how much water you drink, but how well your body holds on to that water through the night. Low sodium intake also affects your adrenal glands, small but powerful organs that sit above your kidneys. These glands play a key role in managing cortisol, your primary stress hormone. When salt levels drop too low, the adrenals become stressed, releasing more cortisol to compensate. And as we've seen in earlier sections, high cortisol levels at night can disrupt your sleep, increase bladder sensitivity, and make your body feel more alert when it should be resting. This is one of the reasons why some people feel wired but tired at night, unable to sleep, yet physically exhausted. So what can help? Adding a small amount of natural sea salt like Himalayan pink salt or Celtic gray salt to your meals can make a gentle but noticeable difference. These types of unrefined salts contain trace minerals that support hydration, nerve function, and even digestion. They're different from the heavily processed table salt found in most packaged foods, which lacks these beneficial compounds. A pinch of sea salt in your lunch or dinner may help your body feel more balanced and reduce those middle-of-the-night bathroom trips by improving fluid regulation. Of course, if you have specific conditions like kidney disease or heart failure, you should always speak to your doctor before increasing salt. But for many people, especially those on low-sodium diets, restoring a modest. Natural salt intake can support deeper sleep and steadier hydration. You don't need to overdo it, just a small, mindful addition to your daily meals can help your body hold on to water more efficiently, lowering your need to urinate during the night. Sometimes, healing begins not by removing more things, but by gently adding back what your body truly needs. Salt, when used with care, is one of those small, essential pieces that keeps everything else in rhythm, including your sleep. Let's take a moment to look at what happens when nighttime urination continues unchecked. It may seem like a minor inconvenience at first, just getting up once or twice during the night, but over time, that broken sleep begins to affect much more than just your bladder. When you're not sleeping deeply, your body produces more cortisol, the stress hormone, and when cortisol rises, so does insulin, leading to more fat storage, especially around the belly, and faster aging from the inside out. This hormonal shift doesn't just affect your metabolism, it slowly chips away at your energy, memory, and mood. You may feel foggy in the morning, sluggish during the day, and more prone to emotional ups and downs. Even your heart and brain begin to feel the strain, because sleep is when those organs do most of their repair work. When sleep is interrupted, your body can't fully recharge, and you're left running on low battery without even realizing it. It's easy to overlook how big the ripple effect can be. That one trip to the bathroom becomes 2, then 3, and suddenly, your nights are more about survival than restoration. Cravings increase, especially for sugar and carbs, which drive insulin even higher. This loop can quietly continue for years, making you feel older, heavier, and more frustrated, not because your body is failing, but because it's stuck in a pattern that was never explained to you properly. Think of your body like a rechargeable battery. Sleep is the charger. When you finally rest deeply through the night, everything gets replenished: your hormones, your immune system, your brain, your energy. Without that recharge, even the best diet or exercise plan won't do what it's supposed to. That's why fixing nighttime urination isn't just about comfort, it's about reclaiming the foundation of your health. And here's the part I want you to remember most. You are not broken. Your bladder isn't weak, it's overwhelmed. Your body is doing its best with the signals it's getting. And when you change those signals even gently, your body begins to respond. One small shift can help you sleep longer, wake up less, and feel more at peace in your own skin again. So ask yourself gently, what would it feel like to sleep through the night again? Like you used to, no interruptions, no clock watching, just deep, natural rest, the kind that makes you feel human again. Healing isn't a punishment. It's a permission slip to slow down, to listen, and to care for yourself in new and wiser ways. If you found something here that gives you hope, consider sharing this video with someone else who might need it. These simple insights can make a powerful difference, especially for someone who thinks they've already tried everything. You are not alone, you are not too late, and above all, you deserve rest.